Welcome everyone! Welcome to another review. This is MetalCanyon, and we will be checking out Bus Simulator 18 by Still Alive Studios. Yes, you've heard that right. It is a bus simulator game. I was actually quite excited about this. I know it doesn't really sound like the most amazing type of game, just driving a bus instead of, I don't know, flying a spaceship and shooting asteroids or, something else. But I liked stuff like this. I've very much enjoyed Euro Truck Simulator 2 or American Truck Simulator. I actually bought a steering wheel and pedals and everything because of that. And I've been enjoying it quite a lot. And I just had to try this. And in this game, you not only drive your buses, you actually have your own bus company in this German town. I think it's German anyway, even though everything is mostly in English. But it's quite interesting because at first you just start driving a bus, but then you get the reins of actually running the company, like I said, and creating various bus stops, various routes to connect various places like the Astra Park or Oakville or Siegwalden and so on and so forth. And then, of course, you also drive your buses and do things and you hire employees. So that premise is very, very interesting. And you know what? I thought at the beginning, honestly, I'm going to be completely honest, I thought this game was going to be a bit of a shovelware. We have so many simulator games out there, and I thought, this is going to be interesting, but it's going to be just another one of those shovelware games where it's not really well done. It's something, quick and dirty. But I'm happy to say I was quite wrong. The game, if you just look at the buses, for example, they are quite pretty. These are all the buses I own, by the way. There's a big one. There's the Cetra business. And this is my first CNG type bus. So it runs on gas instead of diesel. And of course, the buses are modeled inside as well. And you can customize the buses, for example. I've customized this one in a green and lovely color because it's so eco. I put a little birdie at the back. And you can, like I said, this is a decal you can add. You can do various skins for the buses. And a lot of them are, like you would expect buses to be. It's quite fun. And of course, you unlock different skins and all the other stuff once you level up. And yes, there is also leveling up. For example, right now, I've already done all my current objectives, apart from having 85% of bus stops to be on routes which generate income with drivers. Now, that means that I will have to get more drivers and more buses to have them drive these lines. Or I could just, make a very long line connecting all the dots, I suppose. But anyway, let me show you how this works. Let's drive... let's drive this one. Let's drive this one. As you can see over here, I've got my employees and buses assigned to these lines. And this one, I'm going to drive myself. And let's take the Cetra, because I believe I said the No. I'm driving the CNG, right? Yeah, I think I'm driving the CNG. Now, when you're driving, you can select what you want. You can select to drive throughout the day, night, rainy day, dawn, or sunny and rainy. But for now, we're just going to select daytime. You can quick start, or you can switch that off, in which case you have to actually enter the bus, unlock the doors. I'll actually show you because it's quite interesting. There's a fair bit of complexity in here. And then route settings, which doesn't really affect anything apart from how much money you'll make. If I select to loop the route, to do it twice, obviously we'll make more money, or a round trip and so on and so forth. You can be too early. You can turn that off or on. I don't really like that because, people like being early on bus stops. I guess people waiting for a bus don't want it to be early. And the cashier, which is another fun part of it. Here's the cashier. I'll show you that. And the realistic driving, you can also do simplified, which, I don't know. I haven't really tried it. I like it realistic. So anyway, let's start the trip and see where that takes us. All right, so here we are. we're outside our bus. This is the garage, obviously. So first thing we need to do is unlock the door. There we go. Unlock the door, and then we can open the front door from the outside, like in real buses. Then we have to unlock the rear doors. Boop and boop. There we go. Everything else is good. As you can see, this bus has a bit of a crazy inside. All the other buses are a little more, you know, reserved as far as that, but this one is pretty crazy inside. So, the doors are now unlocked. We can now get into the driver's seat. And if I press tab, it will show you all of the things that you can do. That you can control on this bus. It's pretty interesting. So, let's see. Let's turn on... How do I... Oh yeah, because I have mouse steering enabled now. For some reason, I cannot zoom in. It's a bit weird. So, cashier light, passenger lights. I will leave that. Warning. Retarder will... That's not really the retarder. That's a speed limiter. So I'll have that on. Engine toggle. There we go. Oh yeah, I have to actually use the key. There's the ignition. There we go. That's the ignition. We will turn off the cockpit light. I don't like having that on. There's the middle door. Wait, there's a rear door as well? I don't think there's a... Is there a rear door? Oh yeah, there is! Oh my god, I never noticed that. Let's unlock... What? Lock door, unlock door wing. That's a bit bugged. I never noticed that. I actually had 3 doors. 3 sets of doors. So let's see. I can use 3, right? Yeah, there we go. So you can use your numeric keyboard to open and close the various doors. There we go. And of course, the bus also kneels. Alright, and there's our cashier, which we use to sell tickets to people. Alright, I think we're all ready to go. I believe. Alright. Let's drive. Oh yeah. Emergency brake or service brake. Alright, so the first thing we need to do, obviously we're gonna follow the GPS there. Careful there. Where's that lady? What are you doing here? Alright, so right now I'm playing with the mouse and keyboard, and I will explain that in just a little bit. There's no traffic at the moment. I cannot hit that light pole back there. So I control the blinkers, I control everything pretty much in the bus. Oh no, that's not our first stop, never mind. Our first stop is all the way over there. Oh, okay. That's different. And because I have the limiter on, I can... Alright, even though I don't have the right of way, I can just, you know, press my throttle and keep it there, and the bus will keep to the speed limit. Because obviously there are different speed limits. There's a very thing weird you might have noticed, and that's the yield signs are a lot of the times on the wrong side. Here, this yield sign is on the right side of the road. I mean, in the right place, but a lot of the times they seem to be on the other side of the intersection, which is a bit bizarre. I think that's a bit of a bug they have. Well, not a bug. Someone has made a bit of a cock-up there. But anyway, I have to say that driving the bus is quite a lot of fun. You have to keep to the speed limit, as I said. You have to keep an eye out on traffic. You have to keep an eye out on pedestrian crossings and people that might cross. If you do hit someone, your bus will reset and you will pay a fine. In case of hitting a pedestrian, quite a hefty fine. You also have to avoid potholes, or at least not drive over them too quickly, because people won't like that and your reputation will decrease, which is quite interesting. So you have to be, you know, careful about a lot of things. Plus, you also have to be at the bus stations on time. Now, that's not always possible because of, well, mostly traffic. Or if there's a lot of people, there's a pothole. There you go. If there's a lot of people that want to get on your bus, and they all want tickets. Now, quite a lot of people won't need a ticket, and they will just enter the bus, and that's it. But there's also fair dodgers, so every now and then you can decide to get out of your seat and ask the people for their ticket, and they will show it to you, and if they don't have it, they will pay quite a hefty fine, which is, you know, a little bit of an extra income, but it annoys me because I'm sort of a type of player. See the sign? It's on the other side over there to the right for some reason, even though it should be at the start of the intersection for us. But yeah, that annoys me because I'm the type of person that if they have an option to do that, I will get out of my seat every time to ask the people for their tickets, so I can make sure that I get the maximum amount of possible money. But anyway, that's my problem. I'm trying not to hit the curb with the back of the bus. So you can see that you also get little pluses and minuses for things you do. For using the blinkers correctly, you get, you know, extra reputation. For crashing, you obviously get a lot of negative reputation. Now, let me get to the first bus stop. That guy is letting me go. Now, as far as driving goes, it's not quite as smooth as the Euro Truck or American Truck Simulator. The bus does judder a little bit, but it's not very noticeable, especially once you start playing a little bit. You get used to it, and it's actually quite a lot of fun. So there we go. We're now going to stop and let the people on. We're going to open all 3 doors. And some people will want a ticket.
It's way too hot outside.
Some won't. So let's close all the doors. Put the blinker on and go. That guy is going to let me go because obviously it is the law.
Next stop, Sugarmill.
To let buses have the right of way, at least over here anyway. What I wanted to say is, yeah, I will show you how the cashier works. It's quite an interesting little mini game, but as far as traffic goes, it's a bit hit and miss. As you can see over there on my screen above the Iveco thing, there's a blue H, and that means someone has pulled the, you know, I want to get off button, or pressed it.
I was not made for this weather.
Well, hello. A really cool thing is when you have handicapped people in wheelchairs, you have to actually put a ramp up and everything. Of course, it's all, you know, it's automatic, but you have to press the buttons and make sure that the bus is in the correct state for that.
Such a great series. Do you think Hans will ever come back?
And the way you do that, you have to have the handbrake on. You have to have the doors closed, the doors where the ramp will be, and then you have to extend the ramp. So, you know, it's an extra thing that you have to take care of, as well as when they want to get off the bus. It's quite fun. I don't know, it's a minor thing, but in a game like this, in a simulator, it's a lot of fun. Come on. You could go. Oh, God. Yeah, here's... Come on, man. Bloody hell. Yeah, let me talk about traffic. I think the traffic is the biggest downside of the game so far. Now, it doesn't really prevent you from playing the game and having fun, but the problem is that the traffic is not very smart. Most of the drivers on the road seem to be extremely timid, which is both good and bad. Good in the sense that a lot of the times, even if you come to a very busy intersection... Oop, there's a pothole. Whoa, whoa. If you come to a very busy intersection, you will most likely be able to go very quickly because the other, you know, the other drivers will just sort of stop and let you go, or others go. It's a bit strange. But it's also bad because traffic will suddenly get to a horrible stop because, you know, drivers are far too careful going into intersections. So definitely the American and Euro Truck Simulator do that a little better, even though, you know, even there you can have Oh, there we go. There's a guy on a wheelchair. Let me close the middle door. We will pull the handbrake. There's G. There's a ramp up in the top right, as you can see, and open the doors. And she wants a single, regular, 1, and I'll give her a change back. There you go. So that's how the cashier works. Let me close the doors, pull the ramp back, handbrake off, and off we go. Oh. My third door was still open, the back door. There we go.
Next stop, River Promenade.
So yeah, sometimes I was late and I was, you know, I had minus points. I had a penalty with points because I was late to a bus stop simply because of the horrendous traffic that just stopped because they didn't know what to do. Now I'm pressing M, which is the retarder pretty much. There's 3 levels of it, which will, you know, slow down your bus. But most of the time, I don't really find myself using it because 1, it's too aggressive for slight changes of speed, and 2, you have to go through all the 3 levels. So, you know, you brake a little bit, you brake more, you brake a lot, and then it's off. And the brakes don't really seem to get overheated or anything. So there's a guy here on the bus stop. I will have him move.
River Promenade.
There you go. So that's a, you know, it's a cool little addition. There's things that happen. Wow. Way to go, bud. So I'll let the people on. Okay, week, regular, 2 tickets.
Thank you.
And she gave exact change, which is pretty nice. I will close the middle door as well now. And let's get out of the chair and ask the
Here's
people
the ticket,
for their
and
tickets.
here's a picture of my cat. She's called Pearly.
Here you go.
Sure.
Hold on.
Here. Sure.
You can
Here's
just
the ticket.
go through them all quickly.
Here you go. What?
Okay,
here you
everyone has a ticket, so that's alright. Nobody is a fare dodger. Let's go. Now, there's also other stuff that can happen. For example, someone might be listening to loud music, in which case you would press F3 and point at them and click to ask them to stop, you know, listening to music or to move away from the doors and so on and so forth. However, because I'm driving with a mouse and keyboard right now, you can also drive like this with only with a keyboard, but I wouldn't suggest it because it's, you know, it's a little bit jerky. As you would with a keyboard, because it's, you know, it's all digital. And there's a big problem, because when you go to F3 and move around like this, it also moves your steering wheel, it seems. It didn't do that now. That's very strange. But I've crashed on several occasions now because I've forgotten that I cannot do that. And I had a big fine because, you know, I had a head-on collision with someone going into the wrong direction. I don't know. So yeah, don't do that. There's, you know, they'll have to do something about that. But like I said, as in, oh, I'm gonna drive over that, aren't I? Oh, sorry about that. Hit a pothole minus. Like in the American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator, for some reason, it's fun driving a bus. And like I said, not just driving the bus, but you create your own routes, you hire employees, you buy new buses, and you customize the buses. And of course, every bus that you buy, you can also drive yourself if they're not assigned to other drivers. And you know, every bus is at least a little bit different. Okay, the guy needs the ramp now. Let's do this. Handbrake on, ramp extending. And there we go.
1 ticket, please.
Single, regular, 1.
Thanks.
He had exact change. Excellent.
Ticket, please.
Single, regular. There we go. 280. Unfortunately, you cannot operate the doors in the meantime, so I'll just do that. There we go. I think that's all of them. Alright. Off we go. Oh yeah. Handbrake. So, you know, there's a lot of little things you have to do. Open the doors, close the doors, extend the ramp, use the handbrake, use your blinkers, make sure you don't hit the potholes, give cash back to people wanting... Are you really trying to overtake me here? What a numpty. Alright, someone wants off. And like I said, there's also speed cameras. There's a speed camera over there. That's why I braked to 50. Oh, I thought there was a speed camera. Never mind. Yeah, there's speed cameras around which will catch you speeding, and you will pay a hefty fine, so don't do that. Speeding kills.
Oh, perfect parking.
And let me touch upon the people speaking in the bus. You might have heard them. I'm just looking at the rear view mirror. Closing the rear doors, closing the middle doors, and the front doors. Nobody wanted the ticket, so hopefully they're not Dodge farers. But I'm not going to check right now. Let me touch upon the passengers talking between each other.
Large Street.
It's a...
You want to see a photo of my cat?
There we go, case in point. It is a very bold thing of the developer, small as this, to try and do this. Now, I'm saying this because... And this is not my stop, so if I were to stop it here, I would get minus points. I don't mind the banter. It's actually it would be quite interesting. However, like with everything, because you're driving the bus all the time and because you're driving a lot of people around, there's a speed camera on the left, so we have to slow down. I'm using the retarder here. It's 50.
What should I get to eat now? Fast food? Junk food? I think I'll try some street food.
Large Street.
The problem with the banter is that as you drive your bus, you're going to hear it over and over again. Because if you wanted to make it interesting, there would have to be a lot of different types of banter. So this guy's going to let me through. Excellent, thank you. And there's also the other bus I'm running over there. That was actually the first bus I bought in the game and drove. And because I already left my bus stop here, the time is running over there in the GPS, if you can see that. I cannot point it to you with the mouse because my mouse is is steering. Come on. Oh, God, what are they doing? I'm an impatient driver. It doesn't really help honking at them, but it gives me some satisfaction. So anyway, yeah, the banter will repeat very often, and a lot of it will be just sort of weird. It seems if I were to go by the banter, then a third of the population in this town are fans of some kind of a show, some kind of a series that I forgot the name of, but everyone talks about Christina and an amputee and a sister of Christina or something. As you can see, I'm not really following the road rules here because otherwise I would be waiting for far too long. And, you know, the drivers are far too timid to actually clear the intersection in time. So yeah, a third of the people are fans of a show. The second third of the people are always party way too late at a old sawmill place. And the last third are just completely crazy and cat people. And they talk about marbles all the time. I'm kidding you not. That's what happens. So, that's that. Somebody dropped garbage. Oh yeah, this is the end of our drive, which means now we can go in here and pick up the garbage. I think that just gives you extra reputation. But we've completed this route, so we can drive back to the garage, or, which is really nice, you can just press end, and it will end the drive. And it will give us our reputation. So yeah, not too much of a fan of the banter. I think a better option would be, as you can see, the only negative is we hit a pothole too fast. A better option would be if we were just to have like random chatter from the back of the bus. You know, not really recognizable, but just chatter. I think that would be a better option. Because it does get old quite fast hearing about a cat all the time, or the old sawmill, or, oh, what should I eat? Junk food? No, it's gonna be pizza, you know. But, apart from that, it is quite enjoyable. The AI is really the biggest issue right now. They need to do something about the AI, make it a lot more aggressive in clearing the intersections, a lot better actually at driving. And, you know, just make the traffic flow more and correct the mistakes with the signs and such. It's a bit odd. I would also like to see more traffic lights. This is going to be quite interesting. There's lots of little roads over here, but I haven't unlocked the old town yet. I think the Cetra that I was driving right now will definitely not fit through these corners. We'll need either a bendy bus or one of those tiny buses that I've bought at the beginning. But yeah, apart from that, I'm actually really enjoying this game. Surprisingly much. I really didn't think I would. I was a bit interested in it because I like these types of games. And I said, let's give it a go. But I really was not expecting... Bloody hell, that's a bendy bus. There we go. That's cool. Oh man, it's 420,000. That's insane. I cannot afford it yet. I mean, because I don't have the money, and it's level 12, so we'll need to do more stuff. But yeah, it's really enjoyable. It's a nice, casual game with a twist. You know, it's not just a simulator of driving your bus. You have your entire company and levels, which unlocks more buses, more customization, more parts of the town. And at first I thought, man, this is really small. You know, I've already driven around this and now this is unlocked. But once you start driving it, it actually isn't that small. It would be nice if, you know, they are going to add more stuff later on. But considering this old town has so many little streets and such, it's going to get quite interesting, I think. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but yeah. So if you like simulators like this, I would suggest this. They will have to work on it a little bit still, but this is very enjoyable. Surprisingly so. It's one of those, like when I first started playing Euro Truck Simulator many years ago, I think even started playing the first one, or was it 18 Wheels of Steel, I think. And I was like, how can I enjoy a game about working, you know, a monotonous job, well, sort of monotonous like this, like driving a truck so much? And this is the same thing. It's a very fun thing to do when you have a little bit of time. It's casual and it's fun. So yeah, I do recommend. This is MetalCanyon, and hopefully you've enjoyed this review of Bus Simulator 18. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.